Why does this conversation matter? Why is it that we need to address the biodigital convergence conversation? Are you curious? If so, let's step in. What is biodigital convergence and why does it matter? Are you familiar with the concept? If you're not, and it's really important, if you're seeking to remain human and you want your children to remain human, whatever that is, it's really important for you to actually pay attention and be awake and aware of all that is actually going on in our country at this time. If you're curious about that, if you're curious about what's happening and why it matters, I invite you to a workshop that I'm facilitating. It's going to be around 2 hours where I'll explain to you what are the stated, right? Like what is the federal government actually publicly acknowledging as the future that they're envisioning? What is the federal government doing? And what are the other key players that are setting the wheels in motion for our government and for all Western democracies worldwide? So what's happening is not localized in our country. What's happening is actually a global initiative that is seeking to alter the very essence of what it means to be a human being. So we're seeking to merge the organic matter with inorganic matter. So human body with technology. So there's an official narrative as to why we would want that. And right now, much like a McDonald's commercial that might advertise to you how healthy it is because it's made with local Canadian beef, much like that kind of mind control that's happening on commercials, the way that this initiative is being presented to us is similar in that sense because it's telling us things like it's for your own good. So everything that we're doing is for your own good. It's for the evolution of humanity. What I'm going to be doing in this 90-minute to 2 hour workshop, depending on how long the questions go and all that sort of stuff, what I'm going to be doing is unpacking for you what's the official narrative, what are the tenets that they're touching upon, that they're saying are going to be impacted, already have been, and what are the things that they are not saying to you. So in noticing it from two different perspectives, and noticing what the federal government is actually telling us publicly here and now today about what they're seeking to create, relating it to the larger context of what the World Economic Forum, as a metaphor for what's actually unfolding globally, and the creators of that and the initiators of that are doing, right? Like what is publicly available for us to consume, and then what they're saying and what they're not saying. So what I'm interested in is not only what they're saying, because that's important in terms of they're doing this. So it's like we can hide, we can put our head in the sand, we could like, escape, we could do drugs, we could distract ourselves, we could do all kinds of things, and guilty, been there, done that. And those things won't go away. However, if you're curious about what are the things, not only what they're saying, but what are the things that they're not saying that are implications for the future that they're creating, I invite you to join me. It's 90 minutes. It's complimentary. If you would like to leave me a donation for my hard work, I invite you to do so. I will take it. However, what I'm much more interested in is that you are well educated, right? So that you know what's actually unfolding rather than continuing to pretend. So if you would like to join me, it's happening on the 3rd, July 3rd at 11:30 a.m. EST. And I will be doing a presentation, and then I will have a Q&A portion that will not be recorded. So the presentation portion will be recorded, but the Q&A portion will not be recorded because of the privacy of the women or people that will show up. So my intention for creating this is to educate you as to what's being said and what's not being said, and also to give you a glimpse of hope as to what's possible, right? So like, now what? So this is happening. You are willing to look into it and face it. Now what? What are the things that show up that might become triggers for you, right? And how do you navigate those triggers? I've discovered a way that works for me, and I want to share that with you. And the way that works for me is through the well systems paradigm, which is another mindset about what is a human being. So if the transhumanist movement is seeking to redefine what a human being is in a particular technocratic way, in this paradigm, and now we have science to back it up with the work of Nassim Haramein and Bruce Lipton, as well as Greg Braden. What we are is so sacred. It is so sacred that the point of this movement, this transhumanist movement, is to take that away so that we never discover that. Now, why is that the case? Why would they want this? We could get into some really weird stuff, but the point is that this is what's happening. So if they're seeking to redefine human and you're clear, you would rather not go down that path. You would rather not merge yourself with the cloud and become one over there. And certainly, you may not want to give up your children when they have no opportunity to consent to that reality. I invite you to come have a conversation with me about what else is possible. There's an alternative reality that you could choose to subscribe to when you unsubscribe from what has not been working, so that you discover what could work for you, your children, and the creation of your meaningful future in the midst of everything that's actually going on.